Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thanks for joining me and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thanks very much for the responses on my previous video where I asked for some help in kind of helping to decide what I'm going to do next, what I am doing with my channel. And I've decided to just carry on as I was. I'm going to hold off from the full edits of my visit to Brazil and kind of put them in the correct timeline. I'm going to carry on where I left off and just keep going with the content. Even though I'm a little bit behind, the plan is to just condense that down as much as possible and just to include the stuff that is really important with my progression and what's going on. And, not necessarily to show all of every single skate session that I've done, because there's quite a decent amount of time where I'm not really doing anything different from the session before and I'm just practicing. And initially I thought, let's not be under any illusion and let's not try and put across any illusion that learning to skate is fast and progression is real quick, because for me at least it's not, and it takes weeks and weeks of practicing the same thing before it starts to become kind of a trick that's in the bag and dependable and I can do it over and over again. Doing a trick just once is not the answer. It doesn't mean that you can do the trick. And to be able to call on it on command takes weeks and weeks of practice. And, initially I didn't want to try and come across as learning to skate is easy and learn a trick and then it's in the bag and then on to the next one. It's not really reality in my experience. And I didn't want to come across like that is the truth, because maybe it would send out bad messages to people and make people think that they're not doing so well because they can't learn something instantly and have it in the bag the next day. So anyway, that was my thinking behind it. Might not be so entertaining to watch repetitive stuff, but then really I didn't set out to be an entertainment channel. It was more a kind of a record of my progression. So hopefully that makes sense, but I'm gonna try and condense things down so that it's more watchable, and I'll try and explain that certain things have taken longer than perhaps you're seeing on the videos, and just see if it helps me catch up with my content and bring it back up to real time today, as it were. So thanks for hanging in there. Thanks for the feedback and helping me decide what to do. And so let's get on with today's video. Okay, so today's video, we are back at Skaterham Skatepark, the vert ramp in a church. If you saw the last video I did skating vert, I was just about managing to do some jump outs, and I feel that it's one of the first tricks you kind of need to know how to do, and it's not even a trick, but it's just getting out of the ramp without bailing and sliding down to the bottom and then having to climb back up the stairs. Being able to jump out of the vert ramp is just kind of a core thing that I think you kind of need to know pretty early on, but it's really scary to try and learn. So to begin with, I was just dropping in and riding around and getting a feel for the transition, but I got to the point where I wanted to be able to jump out the top so that I could drop in, maybe do a kick turn or something and jump back out the top. And firstly, to save energy of climbing the stairs, and secondly, it helps with getting the feeling of standing upright on the coping. So if you were going to try and do any kind of coping tricks, for example, an axle stall, you need to know what it feels like to move from being in the transition. So when you're in the ramp, you're kind of sideways on like this, and to get on the coping, you need to go from, so you're standing out long ways in the ramp, standing on the surface, and to get up onto the coping, you need to come up and stand upright on the platform or on the coping. And it's a real tough call to move from being horizontal in the ramp and coming up the ramp and then going full 90 degrees to standing upright. It's not so bad on a gradual transition because you're going from 45 degrees and standing upright. It feels a lot easier. But when you're having to turn a full 90 degrees and stand upright, when you're very high up in the air, maybe 12 feet up in the air on a vert ramp, it's hard to do that. And so to begin with, you kind of start squatting down and kind of eking yourself up onto the platform, or as you see in the video, a few times I kind of fail and you just kind of grab on for dear life to get up there instead of falling back in. So it's really important to me to know how to get up there, and go from kind of horizontal to vertical, stand up on the coping and on the platform. So that's kind of what I was doing. And as well as doing those practices, I was also practicing backside kick turns and slash grinds again. So you'll see, I'm literally going round and round and doing my backside kick turns and trying to get the back wheel over the coping and just get a tiny little slash grind backside. And I feel that those are the entries into starting to do lip tricks. Firstly, getting a truck onto the coping with a little grind, just to feel what it's like to be up there on the coping instead of always below the coping. Getting up on the coping, getting a grind, and then beginning to learn to stand up a bit more in those grinds and stand upright. And then that should work towards maybe getting 50/50s or axle stalls or something on the lip, on the coping. So that's what it's all about today. It's a pretty short video in content wise. I've probably been talking too long already, but just wanted to explain what was going on, and I hope you enjoy what you see. So let's get into the actual action and you'll see what I've been talking about, and hopefully it makes sense to you, and I'll catch you back in a minute. So there you go. Hopefully what I said before the video makes sense, and you could see what was happening in the video and what I was trying to do, trying to get those slash grinds, trying to get the wheel over the coping and just grind the coping a little bit, and jump out the top of the ramp as well, just to get used to doing that, all in the name of trying to get used to being upright and at the top of the coping and on the platform, ready to start learning some tricks. So I hope you found that video interesting, and entertaining to watch at least. And let me know what you think in the comments, whether it was useful, whether any of it kind of made sense to you, whether you think that will help you if you're doing the same sort of thing, or if you think you've got any better tips that maybe I didn't mention. So yep, thanks for watching. I will catch you again very soon with some more of me skating, learning to skate. So yeah, take care. Thanks for watching.